Thank you for being with us. We are super excited about our new discussion board. That's going to be an online feature platform for us to keep y'all engaged in between meetings and events, and just so that y'all can serve as a resource for each other. I am Liz Dobbins Smith, Managing Director for NCEDA, and I want to introduce our special guest, Brandy Grubb, who is our Marketing and Communications Manager. She is going to be the Forge go-to person. If you direct any Forge questions to me, that is totally fine, but I will just forward them on to Brandy. She is the one that knows the most. She and Timothy know the most about this platform and are happy to help. So we also have Timothy Downs and Trey Cash with us today. They are both NCEDA board members and have really kind of been leading the charge on this new platform for us, and we're happy to have them. We're going to do a quick walkthrough on things, but we do with a smaller group, we do want to keep it informal. And so if y'all have any questions, as Trey is kind of talking about the overview and Timothy's going to do an actual walkthrough of the platform, if y'all got any questions, feel free to just kind of interrupt and ask those as we're going along, because y'all may think of something that we haven't thought about since we've been kind of in the system, in the system so much. Since we do only have a few folks, I'm going to do a quick round robin intro for everybody. I'm just going to call your names out as I see them on my screen. And so if you could just introduce yourself, who you work with, and maybe one of the things you're really hoping to get out of Forge as an online platform, why it can be a resource for you, or if you've been like with another organization, if you've been active on a discussion board with them, kind of what was the biggest takeaway from you for that. So I'm going to uh, not introduce Timothy and Trey because they're going to introduce themselves in just a second. Elizabeth, I'm going to go with you first.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Elizabeth Edwards and I'm the Communications and Marketing Director for Harnett County Economic Development. And I'm looking forward to just seeing the discussion board and the engagement that that'll bring among members.
Awesome. Rama?
Hi, Rama Malabranch. I'm with Western Governors University, a senior regional manager there, and I'm interested in learning about how Forge can help us harness, like how higher ed can help with economic development.
Awesome. Rick?
Hey, Rick Kiernan, Convergent Nonprofit Solutions. I have seen something similar with NC Cord, which is the 58 foundation offices of the community college system here in North Carolina. And just the exchange of best practices, somebody asking a question, another college in another part of the state has already encountered that challenge. And so seeing that exchange has been really helpful. And I love the idea of seeing that with NCEDA.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. That's one of the main reasons we wanted to move forward with something like this. Donna?
Donna O'Keefe. I am the existing business and industry manager for the city of Monroe, new enroll. And I formerly, as part of the Main Street, as a downtown manager, I used that all the time for the same reasons others have spoken about. I probably was in that forum almost every day.
Awesome. Awesome. Good to
Saved me
know.
a lot of time
Yes.
running and getting quick responses from people doing the exact same thing I was.
Right. We can get a testimonial from you, and you can be one
Mhm.
of our advocates and
Okay,
get folks engaged.
happy to do it.
All right. Nick?
Hi, Nick Dulo at North Carolina Department of Transportation Rail Division. I serve as the Freight Rail and Economic Development Manager, and just want to learn more about the tool and be able to use it to get answers, connect, and share.
Awesome. And Nick, side note, Nick used to be a member and he just rejoined. What was it, last week? In the last 2 weeks?
Last week,
So
last couple of
welcome
weeks,
back.
yeah.
Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Sam?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sam Samantha Grass with Cabarrus Economic Development. I'm the Economic Development Manager. Just already seeing some of the topics that have been discussed and looking forward to diving in more on that. And before I forget, our state magazine, it was really cool to see Liz in an advertisement this
Yeah.
month. Great ad.
We're famous. My husband and I are famous.
You really are. You really are. Thank you all for hosting this today.
All right, and Julie?
Hi, I'm Julie Graham. I work with the the North Carolina Global Transport Economic Development Region. I work with Trey. I'm the existing industry director for Wayne County. And I'm on here to learn all I can so that it can help me with what we do.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. And just for reference, we would take you onto the NCEDA team at any time. We love you, Julie.
Thank you. I had to run and answer the door real quick. So
All right, we are going to dive in now. And so Trey and Timothy, I will turn it over to y'all.
All right. Well, thank you all, everybody. It's so good to be here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Trey Cash. I have the honor to work with the North Carolina Global Trans-Park Economic Development Region right here in the heart of Eastern North Carolina. We have a four-member organization, Greene County, Lenoir County, Wayne County, and the Global Trans-Park right here in Eastern North Carolina. And I'm very fortunate to serve with Timothy on the NCDA Board of Directors. And we are very excited to talking about Forge. Me and Timothy, Liz, Brandy, Torsia, we've all been involved in thinking about how this platform fits into a broader member experience and how we can make it something you actually want to use and not just another place for you to log into. So we're hoping by the end of the hour, you should know more about Forge, why it matters, and how it can make it easier to connect and share resources and keep the conversation going between in-person events, meetings, and conferences. So now I'd like to pass that mic to Timothy.
Thank you, Trey. Yes, I'm Timothy Downs. I serve as a regional director for North Carolina Economic Development for Thomas and Hutton, our civil engineering firm. But I also serve, as Trey said, on the board of directors, and I'm thrilled to do so, honored to do so. So my role today is, among other things, but primarily to walk you through how the platform works and how to navigate it. A lot of it's very intuitive, but some of it's not. So we'll make sure that everyone has a good feel for it. And I'm going to make a request now, and I'll probably make it again before we're done, but would love it if you all that are here today would share what you've learned today, not the detail because this is being recorded, but share, the importance of this and how it can benefit us all. Again, the more members that are using it, the better off for all of us. So we want to make sure that everyone's getting the most value out of it, and the best way to do that is to have good portion of our membership using it. So yeah, looking forward to sharing some more. I think Trey is going to kick it off, and Brandy's going to have some PowerPoint.
Hey, Trey, can I interrupt you real quick? I meant to introduce both Torsia and Blair. They are on the NCEDA staff team and they are here with us too. So Torsia is the director of events and operations, and then Blair oversees programming and fundraising for the NCEDA Foundation. So, and they're here to learn more as well.
Trey, you're on mute.
Oh, no. Anyway, we'll start over. So, as an association, we do a great job of bringing members together at conferences, events, committee meetings. All of these are in person, right? This means people have to travel. This means people may not see each other once every month or 2 months or 3 months or maybe every year. So we heard from our members on the board of directors, and we heard loud and clear that members wanted more connection between these events. People want a place to ask questions. Maybe they have a small question they need some help with, share experiences, and learn from others in real time. And without having to guess on who to email or start this long email chain where somebody is always hitting reply all. And Forge is that answer. This is one central place for those conversations to happen, and it is available to the full membership. So information isn't lost or limited to a small group. And then, Brandy, if you want to go to the next slide.
Well, I'm hitting next, but for some
Uh-oh.
reason it's not going to the next. There we go.
So at its heart, Forge is about community and engagement. It's engagement for all over 1,000 members of the North Carolina Economic Development Association. This is a safe space where newer members can learn from more experienced professionals, where peers can share best practices, or maybe the conversation don't stop at an event once it ends. Let's keep the conversation going, and this is a place where everybody can look and check. Not everyone will use Forge the same way. Me and Timothy use Forge different ways. Some members may post regularly, others may just read and follow along. I want to be clear, that is perfectly fine. What matters is that the platform is useful and welcoming for every one of our members. Now Timothy's muted.
Sorry about that. So yeah, so what I was saying is Forge is what we learned about it when we were exploring this idea is that it's specifically built for professional associations like NCDA. And it's organized around groups and discussions and which facilitates your ability to connect with somebody specifically, the right conversation or the right person. So as we've said probably once already, we'll say again, it eliminates this need to hunt around for an email or a past conversation, not knowing where it is or where you stored it. So the biggest value for members is access to the knowledge, experiences, and connections. So as this develops and as it grows, you'll see that more and more resources are posted, more and more, let's say, knowledge resources are posted, discussions that create new ideas and new topics, and it's all saved here in one place, so it's easily searchable, which we'll show you in a minute. Again, it complements what we already do with conferences and committees and the various programs. And so we really hope people see this as a way to stay connected between the events and spur that network building and the conversations throughout the year. So now I believe I will share my screen and do a little bit of a walkthrough. Go. All right. Somebody give me a thumbs up or a hey there. That we're good. All right. So as Liz said earlier, since I'm sharing my screen, I can't necessarily see you all. And I want to make sure that if questions arise while we're doing this, that we get to them. So I'm going to start in the top right. And you can see, just so everyone knows, I am using Trey's account today. That's why it doesn't look like me in that picture. So the reason for that is when we started with Forge, I was set up as administrator, and both Brandy and I are in that role. And so I can see a lot of things that the average member cannot. So we didn't want to confuse you all with that. So we're going to do a walkthrough. Want to make sure that you understand about logging in and the various aspects of your profile, I guess. So when you log in, if you haven't logged in yet, you're going to get a screen that's asking you to set up your profile. We want to make sure that everyone does that. Updating your profile is an important piece because it allows people to see your photo, again, that visual connection, your title, who you're with, and interests that you might have. So those are things that, again, we hope everyone will do that to make the community a little tighter and make it easier for people to connect with the right people. So I wanted to show you on the top right screen here. So if you see the image and you click that, you get a little menu that says view your profile. You click that and you get to essentially the details of your profile. There's a lot here that we haven't even touched yet. And over time, we'll develop it and build it out. But things like your activity, like many social sites, you can have, you can build reputation and activities and badges and stuff. So, but most important is the profile. If for some reason you need to edit your profile, you click that little pencil and you can see the information here. If for some reason you change email addresses, let's say you've changed employers in the midst of remaining a member with NCEDA, if you click this update my account button, and I'm not going to go into the great detail because it's something that's pretty specific, but that's where you would do that. You'd update your account there and put in a new email address, and so you're still getting all the important information that you should get. Often when you see this little X, that's just closing that separate window. Another thing I want to show in this top right is the notifications bell. You can see right now Trey has 7 notifications, and when you click the bell, it shows them. When you click a notification, it shows it as red, and that specific one will go away. But this is where you find all your notifications in one place, and there are ways to see them in other places, but this is where you see them in one place. The other thing I want to show is this search button. So what's really cool about this is that you can search the entire NCEDA community. So let's say you wanted to find a discussion about opportunity zones. I believe there's a couple, you got to spell it right. So I'm not going to go ahead and hit the search, but you can see right away what shows up on the screen are all these hits for opportunity zones within our community on Forge. So it's a really helpful tool. You can find people, you can find resources, and you can find discussions. So anything and everything just by using that search bar. So it's very, very handy. Let me make sure I'm not getting off script too far here. Okay, so like we talked about groups, on the left side of your screen, which you can collapse this menu if you want to. That little X will just make it go away. And then you hit the hamburger bar, the 3 bars, and that'll get back up. So these are all the groups. So these are all the groups that NCEDA has. This is not necessarily the groups that you are members of, but these are all the groups that are available. If you have a group that is on here and you're not a member of it, you click it. Well, I've certainly clicked one that, wow, Trey, are you a member of all these?
I think that's
Yes, I
why
am.
you can see that. If you're not a member of the committees, I don't think the groups show up.
That's right.
Well, so I'll say this. It is, there are opportunities to add groups. So we'll get to that in a minute. But nevertheless, these are all the groups that you have access to. You click one and it'll go to that group. Now, on the group page, you can see there are a variety of things. This very first box is where you post. That's the very first thing that you can do is you posted a topic. That's the first line, and then what you'd like to say. So you can see discussion, poll, and event. So this is, again, right off the bat, this is where the new creation happens. Below that, you see highlighted posts. So when a post gets highlighted, that means it's brought to the top. That means we want to make sure that the membership is seeing it for longer than maybe it would otherwise, because it would get moved down as new posts come in. So highlighted is, just as it sounds, highlighted posts. And then below that is the post thread. And again, you can sort it, you can search it. When you see this little orange pin, that means that particular post has been pinned to the top. So it's going to stay there. So that's another helpful thing that you can see. If you see something that's pinned, it usually means it's important. So you want to read it. Then you can also see here at the top, these images are of members who have activity, who have either posted or responded to a post or liked a post or something. That's sort of the activity of who's in there. Another thing that's really cool about Forge is down here on the bottom left, you can see conversations. So the way a conversation is different than a discussion board is a conversation is, let's call it private. So in other words, if Brandy and I want to have a conversation on Forge and keep it here, then I can click add, select my recipients, and you can select as many as you want, but you can select the recipient, and then you create a new post, or excuse me, a new conversation based on that selected recipient list. And you can see on the left here, these are the 3 conversations that Trey has in his conversation inbox. So again, that orange number 1 means that Brandy had sent Trey a private conversation. And again, these remain here. They don't go away. They're something that will retain on your desktop, if you will, your inbox, just like the other posts will, but these are just private to you. So they're only you can see them. I talked about notifications. So another way for you to customize Forge so that it's serving you the best is to customize the number of notifications, the type of notifications you get. And Brandy, I apologize, I'm drawing a blank right now, and I can't remember how to get to the list.
I want to say it can be based on the group itself. So maybe click on NCD Open Forum,
Yeah.
and you should be able to, let's see. This is one of those things where if I do it myself, I can usually figure it out. But
I think
let's
is it?
see. Maybe
Yeah.
preferences. Yeah, there you go.
So here it is. So if I did that too quickly, if you click on your image, get to your profile, and then you select preferences, you get to this screen and it's your settings. So it's important to understand how all these work for you. And the very first one at the top you can see is in green. That means it's selected. And what Trey's getting is Trey is receiving highlights, and I'll explain in more detail what that is, every Thursday. So if you're in a group and there's activity in that group, then you're going to get an email on Thursday that tells you the highlights of that activity. It's not a summary or anything unique like that. It's just basically showing you where things happened. So for instance, if someone responded to a post that's 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months old, well, that response would show up as a highlight in your Thursday email. You can also get community highlights every single day if you choose to. You can customize quite a bit, and you can see on the screen here all the different ways that you can customize your notifications. I would highly encourage you all to spend some time in there and test it out. And if it's becoming like, let's say you do highlights every single day, it just becomes too much, then go back in and switch it. And again, tweak it as much as you would like, because I think it's important for us to stay connected this way. And if you have everything turned off, for example, then obviously you're not going to hear about all the stuff that's happening within. And again, you can see this top group is feed activity. The next group is events. Next, on and on. So there's a variety of ways that you can be notified. One other thing I wanted to show before I pause was if you're in one of the groups, let's say there's a group that you want to be a part of, and you've entered the group, and then you realize, yeah, this group's not really for me. Well, the 3 dots up here, you just click it, and you can see gives you the option to leave the group. And for now, and Brandy, Liz, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our intention is to have the groups that are set up here, and that's sort of it. We're not really trying to create a lot of groups to where it becomes unwieldy. But
That's right.
these, the groups that are showing here are the ones that are permanent, if you will.
Yes.
So again, just to recap, create your profile, update your profile, make sure it's you and what you want to say about yourself. Posting is great. If you have something to post about it, we encourage you to do that, but don't feel obligated to, but we certainly want you to be a part of the conversations. One last thing, and then I'll pass it over to Trey. So for instance, here, this NCEDA Forge community guidelines, I clicked on it. It has a resource within it. If you just click that, it will open a page to open that PDF that's there. And these are our Forge guidelines. We encourage you to look at them and read them because we want this to stay a respectful, professional place. So there are guidelines around what should be posted and what shouldn't be. And then also wanted to point out that your reply is down here at the very bottom. What would you like to say? If you wanted to reply or say something to this post, that's where you'd put it. But also, much like other social networking platforms, it does have this ability to appreciate it. So if you click the basically clapping hands, that means you've appreciated it. And then if you hover over it, you can see who has appreciated it. Lastly, you can hover over this and see who's viewed the specific post. So again, lots and lots of content there. Encourage you to get into it. And Trey's going to share some tips now on how to fully engage.
Great job, Timothy. So now we kind of want to talk about the NCEDA groups that Timothy mentioned and what the uses are. And maybe you see a bunch of groups. So let's talk about our idea and how we've got this set up. So first and foremost, you'll see a group called News and Updates. This is where the North Carolina Economic Development Association team and staff will post announcements, reminders, and updates right here. Okay. I want you to think about this as like the reliable source for official NCDA news right there. And then the next group we want to talk about is the open forum. And this is a space for every one of our members to post. It's a space for broader conversations. This is a spot where you ask questions, share ideas, discuss your challenges. Um, Peer-to-peer sharing is the goal of the open forum. So this is the perfect spot if you have a question. Maybe you have a question about incentives, or maybe you have a question about what would you do in this situation? This is the spot where every member, when we have over 1,000 members, access it and look at it. And then Timothy talked about the committee groups. These groups support committee work. They support the legislative committee or the book club or the annual planning committee or the spring conference committee. These are solely focused on committees. So there's a discussion area, document area, and communications just for that group. And one last thing, I want to talk about engagement. Anytime you see something, jump in. Jump in, even in the very small ways, really helps with all of our members and getting traction on this new discussion board, or maybe answer their questions. Reply to posts, share resources, or ask questions. This is all about you and all about helping you get better in economic development here in North Carolina. The more members that participate, the more valuable Forge becomes to everyone.
Thanks, Trey. So obviously, this is something that once you get into it, you'll start to get a feel for it, how you can use it, and how it can become a useful tool for you and others. But we do have some, I guess, quick tips. We're trying to encourage everybody to start small, be engaged in one or two groups that are relevant to you. Find conversations that you're interested in. Don't hesitate. Again, that's why we've got this set up so that people can have the conversation. And if you wait to see someone to have that conversation, who knows what might get in the way. The second tip is, as we talked about when I was sharing, make sure you adjust your notifications to see what matters to you and the frequency that's best for you. Because the last thing we want you to do is just get frustrated with the system and stop using it because you're getting too many notifications or whatever. If you have any trouble with the system, as Liz said, Brandy's your go-to. I know Trey and I are both willing to help as well. If you can reach one of us, can't reach Brandy, whatever, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. We want you to use the platform and to be happy with it. So I think you all have Brandy's contact information. That's how you get a hold of her. But again, this is going to be most valuable to the association when it's used by its members. So we encourage you all to use it and use it often. The last thing I'd say is when you're in it, explore and have fun with it. Again, I think it's a good place for us to obviously share professional questions and ideas and concepts, but we really hope that it spurs conversation that might not happen otherwise. So try to have some fun with it. Trey, back to you.
Thank you, Timothy. Now we'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions about the platform, how it works, or what groups to join, go ahead. Let's talk about it while we're in a small group. Love to hear your questions or your thoughts.
Yep.
Hey Trey, is there when I'm opening up my screen and seeing the groups, I can see the two suggested groups, but I don't see that longer list that Timothy shared with us. Can you see a long list and pick which ones you want to be a part of, or do you just how do you search for that?
I can answer that.
Oh,
So the groups that you can see that are suggested, those are ones that you can just join on your own. So I think the only ones that you probably see unless you're in a committee is the open forum, news and updates, and the book club, because anybody can join the book club. If you're interested in a committee, you can contact myself or Liz, and we can make sure that you're signed up for that committee because we have communications for the committees outside of Forge as well. So we would want to make sure that you're on those as well.
okay.
And if you're
Thank you.
interested in that, I can send you we can send you a committee list.
No, that's good. I was mainly just looking at how you see what groups there are to see if there are any that are relevant, but that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, most of what we've created so far are for the like board of directors, for the committees, and then we just have a couple of open groups. We think that that'll grow some. We don't want it to get too big and have way too many groups.
Mhm.
But that might, grow a little bit as we get more folks engaged. And if y'all give us suggestions on, on what groups might be helpful.
So Rick, I'm curious, do you have three groups on your
No, I have two, Timothy, the open forum and the news and updates. I don't see the book club and but I get notifications about the book club in the email I get every Thursday.
Okay.
Rick, you need to join the book club.
Man,
Get you
I am all
signed.
about reading, Trey.
All
A
right,
book a week.
you're now in it.
Brandy, you want to share about the movement of the partner updates from the newsletter to
Sure.
the
Sure, yes. So we are, as part of an effort to streamline our e-newsletter that goes out every other Thursday, we are going to move our partner news to the Forge platform. And so that's two things. You all can continue to contact us, and we will, make sure that that is highlighted on Forge. But also, you're free to post that as well. So that's part of the open forum. If your organization has news that you'd like to share, this is the place to do that as well.
I see Rama asked the question in the chat. I posted. So just in case there is any confusion, the URL for our platform has mobilize as the keyword. You might hear us refer to mobilize. We're calling it Forge. Forge is the company that we're dealing with that helped us create this. They're the creators of the overall platform, and there will be a migration away from mobilize to Forge. But so that's why if there is any confusion, it's because the URL says mobilize and we talk about it with Forge, but it's one and the same.
Yeah, they're rebranding to Forge. And then Brandy too, um, the we can share a general link to the homepage, but if somebody has not, that like you've still got to like it's not going to really do anything for them, right? Because don't they have to follow the initial invitation that they
Yes.
received to set everything up? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, that's right. So if anyone on this call or who's listening to this recording, if you have not yet signed into Forge, please contact me, Brandy at ncda.org, and I'll make sure that you get signed in. I'll have to send you an email, and walk you through that process. So we're happy to do that.
Any other questions from anyone?
Brandy, thanks for sharing that. That was one of my questions is I get the email notifications that people are putting messages up there, but I hadn't signed in yet. So thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make a note and send you an email after this call.
And Nick, the so when we first started this last summer or last fall, maybe it was last fall when we sent out like the initial invitation to everybody because it is a brand new platform for us. We we sent out like an e-blast, to the full membership with some general information and said, this communication will follow or a specific email or an individual email inviting you to Forge will follow this. But I'm wondering too, since it's sent through the platform, if some of that went to, could have gone to spam folder. Because Nick, I think like when new members join, Brandy sends that, but it could have easily, that specific Forge invitation could have gotten stuck in your spam folder. So we can resend it.
Mhm.
Any other questions or anyone want to share how they've used it so far? Well, while we have a couple minutes, I do want to share one other thing. When you create a post, one of the options is to create a poll. And I think a couple members have used this so far, but it's a really cool tool that if you want to create you've got a question, you've got some answers, you want to, poll the membership on, what's been your most successful way of communicating, ED incentives, or, whatever the question might be. The poll is a really cool way to do that. So I'd encourage you to use that feature as well if you have the need. Did we lose Liz? I think we might have lost
You're
Liz.
muted. You're muted, Liz.
I'm muted.
Oh.
Sorry. And I was checking a text message. Did you ask me a question?
No, I just was looking for you. It
Oh,
looks like
no, I'm here.
Sorry if that was from me, the text message.
Oh,
yeah. I think we've covered it. Doesn't look like we have any other
okay.
questions in the group.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to Brandy or me, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Forge and in person at an event soon. We hope everybody's planning to come to the 60th NCEDA anniversary celebration that will be part of the spring conference in March. We'll be at the Grandover Resort in Greensboro. Love to have you there. We've got a webinar on Friday or tomorrow on Friday with Laura Ulrich for our annual economic forecast with her. That's at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So if you can join us for that, go ahead and register for that. And then we also have our Emerging Executives Forum in a week and a half in Kinston. Trey's super excited about that. And we got a good group for that, but we would love some more folks for that as well. It's going to be a fun 2 days with some of our younger professionals. The content is targeted towards folks that are newer to the field, but everybody is welcome. And we've got a good mix of folks that are registered. So hope to see y'all soon. And stay warm and stay safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.